Back to the Keeping It Real with KC podcast. I, of course, am your host, KC Phoenix. And yeah, so I am doing, my phone just went off. I am doing a wacky news story because, yeah, haven't done one in a minute. So here we are. Before I go any further, KIRWKC.com, main podcasting platform. This podcast is carried on Apple, Spotify, Google, iHeartRadio, Pandora, Overcast, Bullhorn, Amazon Music, Audible, and several other podcasting platforms. Please feel free to listen to this podcast on whatever platform is most convenient for you. KIRWKC on all the social media platforms. All right, let's get into this. So, Michigan City pays driver $1,000 to settle tire marking case. Sounds interesting. So, it says, a Michigan City agreed to pay $1,000 to a driver to settle a lawsuit about marking tires to catch parking violators. The deal in Bay City followed a declaration in August that a similar practice in Saginaw was illegal. U.S. District Judge Thomas Ludington said chalking tires without a warrant violated constitutional protections against unreasonable searches. Reasonable searches. The whole point of this is to set clear lines, attorney Phil Ellison said Thursday. Police just can't kick down your door. The same parallel here is when the government starts messing with our cars. Jody Tivella received tickets at least 6 times in 2016 and 2017. Without having time meters, parking enforcers marked tires to determine who was parked too long in downtown Bay City. Tivella will receive $1,000, and her attorneys, are you kidding me? What type of settlement is this? Okay, I have to start over. Tivella will receive $1,000 and her attorneys will get $59,000 under the settlement with the Bay City and city's Downtown Development Authority. This is the buried lead right here. The Development Authority was responsible for most of it. So the client is receiving $1,000 and the attorneys are receiving $59,000. I can't make that make sense. I'm trying to make this make sense. I cannot make this make sense. The only thing I can think of, maybe, is that there was a cap on the settlement. That's the only thing I can think of. But I doubt, because sometimes with settlements, depending on what the laws are in the county, state, whatever, federal government, whatnot, there can be limits on how much someone can pay. So it isn't a thing where they could probably go into this whole situation and be like, oh, you have to pay $20 million. No, there's usually limits on stuff like that. However, I just cannot imagine the limit being $1,000. I just can't imagine that. That's a buried lead right there. Anyways, messages seeking comment were left with city officials. Thousands of parking tickets based on tire markings likely were written in Bay City. But the class action status of the lawsuit fizzled because the city lacked complete records, Ellison said. And like the Saginaw case, vehicle owners only would receive $1 for each marking. Okay, see, this is what I was talking. That's why I'm like, okay, wait a second. So it was like 1,000 markings. They had to do some type of estimate. It is what it was. So that's why they only received 1,000. But I still don't see why those attorneys received 59,000. That's still a little bit excessive in my opinion, but whatever. And there was no good way to proceed, Ellison said. The judge said tire marking was unconstitutional after Ellison won key decisions at a federal appeals court whose opinions cover Michigan, Ohio, Tennessee, and Kentucky. A federal appeals court with jurisdiction in 9 western states made a different decision in October in the tire marking case from San Diego. All right. So tire marking. There you have it. And he got $1,000 for his trouble. All right, so that's what I have for this one. I might do another wacky news story because instead of jumbling them all together, I want to let people pick and choose what they want to watch and listen to. All right, KIRWKC.com, main podcasting platform. Podcast carried on several others. Until next time, be blessed.